Hi patrons, I'm gonna do another video. I just Lynn was asking about the watches, and so I thought I'll just give you more information if there might be some information that I have that I haven't shared yet. So I'm just gonna tell you. If I've repeated stuff, I'm sorry, but it's when I start to ramble, I might tell you stuff that I haven't said before. So, and I don't want to go back and look at videos now. Have I said this? Have I said that? So I'm just going to repeat. If I repeat, I'm sorry, but you may find new information out. So I came across the watches in the summer and went traveling and came out. We live in a mass of consciousness with lots of planets and consciousness in, and it's like a mass. And I went out and ended up in another mass of consciousness, and it looked like I was in someone's office, and I was presented with this giant, this male giant, and he was telling me that they had been basically experimenting on us, and that we were, and gave me the illusion that we were actually in their universe, that we were so together that we were actually in their office, and we were a massive experiment in their office. And it then turned into a company, and the company was split. So one side of the watchers wanted us free and wanted to gain, undo what they had done to us, because basically they'd split the female and male energy, and the others wanted us to go down the AI route. And then, I was learning about them and learning about what they'd done, and they'd also locked us into a computer system and projected holograms, and they'd created Men in Black, and Men in Black, I found out, were just a computer, a program that looked after other programs, very sort of movie from the Matrix, and they created portals and crazy stuff. And there was Men in Black situated beside every other planet, and very weird stuff. They had created the bloodlines, and they put spider consciousness and dragon consciousness, a different type of consciousness, into our consciousness, and this is where the royal bloodlines came in. And those royal bloodlines, so you've got the spider consciousness and the dragon consciousness, and the DNA that they had, which is a false DNA, it's an AI DNA, they had been programmed to war with each other since day dot. And we had been basically stuck in the middle of the shit that the Watchers had manipulated through our consciousness to happen. Then, as things started to become clearer, I did Nibiru, and just before the second time I went back to the UK, which was, can't remember now. Anyway, they messed with me. They'd taken me, or messed with my consciousness, basically. Watchers had, and I went flat. So all the trauma that I dealt with and released, it basically had come back, and I had to go and revisit and get all the shit off my consciousness again. So it's not been a fantastic journey, but since then I've basically cut the Watchers off, and actually been working on getting the shit, because they basically put so many programs in our mass of consciousness that worked at keeping the universal energy and Gaia not together. Now, Gaia and universal energy need to come together. In order Gaia to really fully express herself and embody Earth, she needs her masculine, her partner, to ground and protect her, so she can fully express. And we all need that, so what's going on in the big thing, we're all going on within us as well. And they've put loads of different technology, and so it's been a journey of like dismantling and on the mass scale, and also fixing myself at the same time. What I discovered of the Watchers, when I clearing trauma again, I went back to a trauma, and it was, I realised this summer wasn't the first time I'd met the Watchers. I actually came in contact with this consciousness when I was a child. So you may be aware that I went through some programming as a child, and I was at a ritual. It was just a ritual with Jimmy Savile. If you heard of Jimmy Savile, it's like an evil, yucky TV famous presenter. Anyway, I was at his apartment in London, and his place in London, and it was a ritual taking place, and I was on the floor lying on a satanic thing, and he was there talking Latin. Anyway, when he was doing his ritual, he turned into a portal, and out came Watcher energy. And that was the first time I came in contact with the Watchers. So these Watchers have actually, and I thought, you know, the Queen and the Satanists of this world, the God is AI, but actually their God is the Watchers. That's what I'm perceiving now. And the byproduct of serving the Watchers is to keep the AI running, sacrificing consciousness. When they sacrifice the consciousness, it condenses the consciousness, and then it allows electricity to run through it, and that has run all the matrices. But now when I look at the egg-shaped dome that Gaia and we are all in, that half of it's gone at the top, and the programs, the holographic rooms, the holograms aren't working. The holograms are there, and the consciousness is still in the room, but the holograms aren't moving as such. And I actually have to go and find out what that room actually did before the shutdown. So the satanic stuff must be completely, if not stopped, or slowed down completely, which is fantastic. Anyway, the satanic stuff is a link to the Watchers. So yeah, they haven't been good to us. And I suppose our journey, getting rid of the Watchers completely and claiming ourselves back, it also claims back all that, you know, what I see is that when Gaia and universal energies really collide, and what Gaia has told me, she said basically it's happened already, but it hasn't happened, but it will happen. There's no way it can't happen. That's what she was saying. And that all the synthetic energy won't be able to get through, because at the minute they can get through. So when they do attacks on Gaia, it hits Gaia, and this universal energies is also healing and going through stuff. The male energy, that's also healing and breaking down perceptions and belief structures and everything like that. So it's, once that becomes stronger, it's able to protect. And because just like within us, our males, most of our male energy hasn't been protecting us. It hasn't known what to do, or it's lost its role, or it hasn't, it's most of the time, you know, a lot of the time when I look at people, the male energy is actually attacking the heart. So, and that's the same in the Gaia and universal energies. They've got to get the balance. And what we're doing and the healing that we're doing is actually happening on a big, big scale. So yeah, we're not going to lose anything from the Watchers at all. It's going to be fantastic to get rid of them. The Watchers come from like a goblin type energy. When I was back in the UK, and they'd messed with me, ended up, there's these goblins, I don't know what they're called, but these seem to be under the underbelly of the Watchers. I don't know what they're called at all, but they're the great deceivers, and they're like goblins. So anyway, I had to get rid of them from out of all of consciousness. Well, I did. They're disgusting things, absolutely disgusting things. Anyway, that was just another day. I had to get rid of goblins. So fun. I'm so glad that you don't see me as crazy. I am crazy, but not, you know, not Lula, in a mental home. Maybe one day they'll put me in a mental home. Who knows? Okay, I think that's all I've got to say at the moment. Okay, you take care. Thanks for listening. Bye.